Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides to life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP. Change your future, starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share this with you, and I want to be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You try to open the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid is keeping you from opening it. You just think you're going to die. But then you think, maybe, if I bang on the lid, I'll unsettle the dirt upon the lid, and maybe, just maybe, someone might notice and start digging their way down towards me. This is what it feels like to be at your lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, I guarantee you there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think today you're just going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind, abusing drugs and alcohol, if you overdose, not only do you take your own life away from you, but you selfishly take your life away from your children, your grandchildren, your husband, your wife, your mother, your father. What God gave you so preciously, life, will be taken away by your abuse of drugs and alcohol. With this, let me leave one last thought. Do not be the person that I'm reading about on this card that's in the coffin alive looking for help when it's way too late. Instead, be a person that reaches out to me at 844-405-HELP and let me help you take your life back before your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. He will help you from your addiction to your recovery. He and I always tell you, our audience, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here today and you're looking for help. You are reaching out to Larry Geis at 516-458-2741. You can Google him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis will help you from your addiction to your recovery, from your depression to happier times, from your low self-esteem to happier times in life. Larry Geis, over 30 years experience. You can reach him at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. Folks, how many of you out there, my audience, are married? How many know real wedding ring traditions within our own states and around the world? Take a look into history of cultural significance of wedding rings from a wide range of cultures and different religions. Is there such thing as a wedding ring? Marriage is something we find in almost every culture around the world. Although the union between two people who love each other is central to each marriage, each culture has its own, very own traditions. For example, there are wedding clothes, color themes, blessing rituals, and wedding food traditions around the world. There are also smaller cultural differences. One of the best known of these is wearing a wedding ring like this. Do you see that? Although the wedding ring is seen as one of the most universal symbols in the world and carries the same symbolic significance almost everywhere, how the ring is made and how the ring is worn is all different around the world. The history of the wedding ring. Let's first look at the history of a very special ring. Although Egypt is regarded as the birthplace of the modern wedding ring, the tradition was actually adopted as long ago as the Neanderthal times. Neanderthals used to tie twigs, grass, and rushes around the bride's wrist or ankles and regarded this the only sign of loyalty and friendship, but also believed that by doing so, the wife's soul would remain intact and she would live longer. The Egyptians. Several hundred years ago, the Egyptians began making rings from bone, leather, ivory, and hemp. Sometime later, they discovered the metal could also be used to make rings, and as such, it was known as ring money. When a woman received this ring, she would at all times have a claim on her husband's possessions. The Romans. In the Roman times, the wedding ring took one more romantic meaning. Not only did the married woman have the right to their husband's worldly possessions, the wedding ring also served as a sign that the wife has unlocked her husband's heart. Asia. A somewhat less romantic significance was attached to the wedding rings in the early Asian world, where the wedding ring was regarded as the seal of a legal contract. The marriage was sealed with a puzzle wedding ring, which immediately fell apart when taken off. An unfaithful wife would be found at once if she took her wedding off because the puzzle fell apart. Over the years, the wedding ring developed even further into a ring that we know today. For example, in medieval times, rings were made almost exclusively of gold, and this period saw the more frequent addition of gemstones. Wedding ring for the husband. It was also in the 20th century that we saw the emergence of the wedding ring for men. Previously, only wives had worn wedding rings, but during World War II, wedding rings for men really caught on. The idea behind this was that men would carry their love with them in times when they weren't sure they would ever see their wives again. Although nowadays, this idea no longer applies to the same extent, the majority of Western men still wear a wedding ring. In today's globalized world, you might be forgiven for thinking that we would adopt each other's traditions more and more, and consequently wedding rings would be worn the same way and symbolize the same things. Catholicism. Contrary to what we often see in films, the wedding ring is not always worn on the left hand. In several countries, the Catholicism dominant, people actually wear their wedding ring on their right hand. For example, Dutch Catholics wear the ring on their left hand, but Australian Catholics wear theirs on their right hand, and in Belgium it varies according to what region you live in. One of the reasons for wearing your wedding ring on your right hand is that the left is regarded by some as evil. In fact, the Latin word for left is sinister, which now is a negative and dark connotation. Protestants. Although followers of the Protestant faith often wear their ring on the right hand, not all of them do so. The romantic idea behind wearing a ring around your left finger is that it's closer to your heart, which is why many people opt to do so. Asian countries. The gold content varies across the world too. Asian countries and countries in the Far East are much more used to purchasing pure yellow gold, which means 18 to 22 carat, is regarded as the norm. The origins of this can be found partly in religion, whereas in India, gold is linked to superiority, beauty, and attractiveness. According to tradition, the more gold the bride is giving, the happier she will live in life. Higher gold content is also considered to be more long-lasting. By investing in long-lasting jewelry, you are directly investing in a long-lasting marriage. Western countries. This way of thinking is apparently not shared worldwide as much as Western countries regard 14-karat gold as the norm. In the USA, 10-karat gold is sold, and in Germany, we even see 7-karat gold. Dutch law states that anything less than 14-karat gold may not even be called gold at all. Even the country of origin plays a major part in the choice of gold content. People from countries where pure gold is the norm often consider 14 or 9-karat gold to be low-budget gold. On the other hand, people who are used to lighter gold actually find pure 22-karat gold to showy and fake. Russian and French wedding rings. Anyone thinking we have mentioned all the differences between countries and cultures is mistaken. There's also a wide variety of ring designs. Russian and French wedding rings, for example, often consist of 3 multicolored interwoven bands. Celtic rings. The rings in Celtic countries are often engraved with collada design, which symbolizes marital fidelity. England and America. In England and America, rings are often worn as sets. First you have the engagement ring, then the smooth wedding ring, and finally the eternity ring, which traditionally is given on the occasion of the first wedding anniversary for the birth of the first child. Native American tribes. The wedding rings that differ most from Western designs are ones worn by many Native American tribes which still live in North America. Traditionally, they still use the materials for symbols that have powerful links to their own culture. For example, the rings are almost always made of silver and are decorated with semi-precious stones or natural materials such as turquoise, red coral, and shells. Traditional Indian rings, Native American ring. So as we see, there is no such thing as a wedding ring. As we see, there are many different wedding rings. The origin and cultures behind wedding rings are not the only things that you should take into consideration when choosing a ring. There's also the important matter of your own personal taste. Let yourself be inspired by many options that are different cultures and countries that have passed down to us over the years. It's been tradition since forever. Our engagement ring goes on the fourth finger of the left hand. But the question is, why? The reason will blow your mind. This is a genuinely mind-blowing fact. Why on earth do we wear our wedding ring on our fourth finger of the left hand? The history is pretty damn cool. The explanation actually stems back to the ancient Chinese concept. The Chinese say each finger represents a different relationship. Your thumb represents your parents. Your index finger represents your siblings. Your middle finger represents yourself. Your fourth finger represents your life partner. And the little finger represents your children. Now hold your thumbs and your index fingers and your fourth fingers and pinky tip to tip and beyond your middle fingers and hold them joined like this. Try separating your thumbs. They will open. You are not destined to live with your parents for the rest of your life. Now try separating your index fingers. They open. Because your brothers and sisters will have to live their own separate lives and have their own families. Try separating your pinkies. They open. Because they will grow up, get married, and settle down on their own terms. Now try to separate your fourth fingers, which represent your spouse. You'll be surprised you cannot separate them, because the love of your life and you are meant to be together for the rest of your lives. Through thick and thin. And that's what we seem to forget, folks. The fact is that when we all, you, I, when we got married, we made a commitment till death do us part. We never said the minute we run into a problem that we would separate or get divorced. Now, mind you, folks, let's be realistic. In life today, 3 out of 5 couples get divorced. But we could bring those percentages down by trying a little harder. There's always a reason for people to get divorced, but some of the reasons that people utilize can be salvaged with a lot of work between husband and wife. Now, some reasons cannot. For example, adultery and cheating. That is something that is unforgiven. However, there is cases like people that have diseases of alcohol and drug addiction. Now, there is a certain extent where a person has to finally leave the spouse. But what we need to do is try as hard as we can till the last drop of strength is left in us that we cannot longer go on. Other reasons is possibly financial or children, that we get divorced because we can't deal with them anymore. So we feel by running away that solves the problem, but it doesn't, folks. Remember the commitment you made to God till death do you part, through good and bad. Stick through the bad, work through the bad, work together through the bad. It is that simple. Like I said, there are circumstances that people do get divorced that legitimately warrant a divorce, but there are many more reasons that people get divorced just because it's convenient. Can you imagine if we made it so much harder to get a divorce, how many people would actually then try to keep their marriage intact under the face of God? The commitment you made aren't just merely words. It is a commitment that you, your wife, or your husband vowed to God. Thank God we have a forgiving God that will forgive no matter what you do. The problem is too many people take advantage of that. I challenge each and every one that has some sort of marital issue out in my audience to try, give it 150% to save your marriage. It's not just healthier for you or your spouse. It's healthier for your children. And it is so much appreciated by God, because for the commitments that you folks made, show God that you will follow through. I hope to God, no matter where you are watching me, that you have the best day of your life. But I hope and I pray that you all have a sober rest of your life, and may God bless you. And remember what the reason is that we wear this wedding ring. Let me try to get it before you can. There we go. The reason is to keep unity. The reason is to be strong, and the reason is to fight for what we have in life. And may God bless you.
Yeah, change your future, it starts today. Live life to the fullest, never skip a day. Create hope, spread positivity. Beat your addictions and negativity. Ralf Friedrichs is here for you. Call today so we can help you. 1-844-405-HELP. 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 We are here for you. Call us today. The show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life today show with Ralf Friedrichs.